Dolores, are you seeing, I mean, are folks trying to fit OTs into the traditional system, or are folks able to see that OTs are an alternative, a potentially an alternative, or it because to us it seems like they're taking these remedial statutes that are flexible and they're trying to shoehorn them or ramrod them in to the traditional system that everybody knows.
So, let me think of, so I think the way that people view OTs is they view it as something that's external to how we look at acquisition or public procurement. They look at it as, this extra thing that you can use. And one of the ways that I approach contracting is I look at what I like to call creative contracting, is what contract works best for what you're trying to purchase or fund or whatnot. And OTs are just a part of that bundle. Mm-hmm. So if I'm thinking about, the DAU fan that everybody is very much familiar with, you don't see OTs like as a bubble outside of the fan. You see it as part of the whole. And I think people forget that part. They forget that it's not just like something that's hanging out there as something that you can use whenever you want. It's part of the whole like basket or your toolbox, whichever term you want to use. And so this perception, I think when we talk about it being a unique authority or something different or something flexible, it makes it, in my perception, it feels like some people may think that it's something outside of their purview or something that they can't use. And to go back to something that Rick said earlier, right? There's certain agencies that have a very clear-cut authority that states you can use other transaction authorities. And then other agencies have that right, but just in other language that might be implicit or explicitly written somewhere within the fine print that's like hidden in their guide somewhere. I've even seen where agencies are referencing, 845 agreements still within their authority, and they don't even exist anymore, but they're still referencing that as something that they are giving themselves the authority to use OTs. So I think part of the culture change that everybody's asking for, and part of the workforce development we're all asking for, is to maybe approach OTs as something that is also just another contract type that someone can use, even though we keep saying it's not a procurement contract, it's an agreement. We make that distinction because of the way that they're shaped. But the way that I look at it is almost how I would say like commercial businesses approach contracts. You have a master services agreement, you have a supplier agreement, you have an NDA. Which contract do you pull for the specific purpose that you're trying to manage the risk for at that moment? Which one do you need to use? And if you're using it to purchase notebooks, then use a FAR-based agreement. If you're using it to fund something to solve a really complex problem and you need someone to do some R&D and figure out like, is there a commercial solution for it out there, or like something that's dual use, or maybe it has to be developed, like then we fund it using an OT, or we fund it using a SIBR, or we just do a phase 3 SIBR OT agreement and just mesh the two together. How do you really look at it as not something that's just lingering out there, that's this big mystery, and really just accept it into the whole picture?